Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio. It's time for Craig Smoak's Off the Radar.
Welcome back into SicEm365 Radio. Craig Smoak, David Smoak, Paul Catalina, Off the Radar. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a different Off the Radar because typically we would take a look at some just kind of off the wall, off the radar, so to speak, stories. But since so much of our conversation is being taken up by one thing in particular, and that's conference realignment, and I love it, there's actually some major stories I normally wouldn't touch on in this segment, but here's where we'll do it. And so let's start off with a major day for the city of Washington, D.C., and not in a good way. It looks like a double whammy of trades in two different leagues. And the latest is one that is a little bit further ahead than the other. The Los Angeles Lakers are executing a trade to bring Russell Westbrook to Los Angeles in a deal with the Wizards. Now, earlier today, there had been reports because, of course, the NBA draft is tonight, and we have, as people who cover Baylor, interested in two potential first-rounders in Davion Mitchell and Jared Butler. But ahead of that, there was rumors about Sacramento sending Buddy Hield to L.A., but Washington just swoops in, offers up Russell Westbrook. Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell will go to Washington, and Russell Westbrook joins up with LeBron and Anthony Davis in Los Angeles, and Russell Westbrook, a UCLA guy, so I'm sure he's happy to be home, and we'll see what this new super team version of the Lakers will do.
So how many times is LeBron going to act pissed when Russell dribbles a lot?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be fun.
And he is a phenomenal player. The numbers he's put up, the double-doubles, but where he's been, the teams have been pretty good, but they've never been...
No, and it's probably because of Russ's style of play. They've never been able to, look, they had Russ, James Harden, and KD, and only one of those guys has rings, and it's KD when he aligned with Golden State. So, there's something about that style of basketball, but look, if there's somebody that can get Russ a ring, it's definitely LeBron.
I mean,
but LeBron had to agree to this, right?
Oh, I'm sure. LeBron,
he's the one that maybe called Russell.
Here's the thing: all Aaron Rodgers wants is the LeBron thing.
Yeah, just ask me.
Just ask me.
Let me give you my opinion.
And again, he just wants a discussion. Yeah. And LeBron knows that he probably carries all the weight, but if they say, LeBron, do you want Russ? And he said, no, I hate Russ and his stupid fake glasses.
He's not going to get him.
He's not going to get him. But no, they're going to get him.
So it looks like, and it's not official yet, but this was, as I mentioned, is going to be a Sacramento-Los Angeles deal. You'd see Buddy Hield go to L.A., but as of now, it's not yet all the way official. But pretty much every NBA writer worth of salt is moving forward with this story. It'll be Russell Westbrook to L.A., Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and Caldwell Pope will head to Washington. So if you're in the city of D.C. today, like, oh, wow, Russell Westbrook is getting traded away to the Los Angeles Lakers. Well, that's not all, because the Padres are apparently closing in on a deal for Nationals ace Max Scherzer, bringing him over to the West Coast. So a big day for the West Coast and sports trades. You got Russell Westbrook going to the Lakers, it looks like, and it also appears that the Padres will pull off a Max Scherzer deal.
Well, the latest are that the Dodgers are kind of trying to get in, and the Red Sox are trying to get in. Now, that just might be – the Padres are loaded with prospects, loaded with prospects. So that just might be the Nationals saying, which I'm sure the Dodgers and Red Sox have made offers. My thought is that might be the Nationals saying, well, look at this. Look who's all in on this. The Red Sox, when they get World Series coked crazy, you can't stop them. So, Padres, if you want to get in on this, you better kick in that guy we really want. And that rotation would be Scherzer, Darvish, Blake Snell, and Joe Musgrove at the top, which is pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, the top two especially would be great. What?
No, nothing.
Oh, I thought you were getting impatient over there. That'd be a heck of a move for the Padres, and got to give it up to Kip Fagg. He was the former, Rangers, or he was in the managerial position with the Rangers, management position with the Rangers, and went off to the Padres and became their GM. And he basically has taken the best of what the Rangers were doing there for a while with the farm system and making trades and being active. And I almost wonder, was he the one making the magic happen back in Arlington?
He and A.J. Preller both. And they're both there in San Diego, and holy cow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Preller and Kip. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there, but it's looking like Russell Westbrook to the Lakers, and it's looking like Max Scherzer to the Padres, but we will see if those are finalized or if another team jumps into the mix. But those would be two massive moves, obviously, in Major League Baseball. and in the NBA. And there was a major move yesterday. We hadn't even gotten around to really talking about it. Joey Gallo of the Rangers is headed to the New York Yankees. In return, Rangers get 4 prospects in the Yankees' top 22 prospects list. Duran, Smith, Otto, however, are some of the names that maybe minor league baseball fans would recognize, or people who keep up with prospects. Already they've assigned some of them to like Hickory and Round Rock and whatnot. But basically, Joey Gallo's in New York now. I mean, that's the big part of the story, and he'll be playing for the Bronx Bombers.
First of all, an Italian guy in New York is going to work.
Yes.
Second of all,
with that right field line,
that particular Italian guy in that particular stadium is going to be great.
Yeah, but I'm pissed.
It's not like,
and I'm not. It's not like Joey Gallo doesn't keep me up at night because he was traded. It's not like that. It's not like a few of the other former Ranger players. He's a homegrown guy. He wanted to stay. Now I know he's got the evil agent in Scott Boras, and I know that the Rangers are not going to win anytime soon. But man, it's just frustrating. It is really frustrating because all this does is kick the can down the road another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and think about when the Yankees are healthy, which they are absolutely not right now. The middle of that lineup is going to be Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, Joey Gallo, and Luke Voit.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right.
That's ridiculous. But
good luck to him. He's really turned himself into a hell of an overall player. Yeah, he strikes out a lot, but he did what a lot of power hitters don't do. He made himself into a hellacious defensive player.
Yeah, he was very good on defense, Gold Glove type outfielder, obviously big swing, big power. And I think the strikeouts thing probably got a bit blown out of proportion, but he's a hell of a player, and he's going to be great for the Yankees. It's a bummer for Rangers fans who have to just figure out like what to get excited about now, basically, because the next move is another trade of some sort, and another player, Kyle Gibson likely, going off, and then who knows where they stop there. But Gallo is officially a New York Yankee, and he did well for the Rangers while he was around. So we'll see what happens with all of that. The NFLPA is not very happy today. President J.C. Tretter says that teams are forcing unvaccinated players to wear colored wristbands. He says it's publicly broadcasting a player's vaccination status, which some are wanting to keep private. The Browns said at training camp that teams don't need to use wristbands because it's already easy to tell who is and who is not vaccinated, because all you have to do is take a look at who's wearing a mask and who's not wearing a mask. That's what the Browns say. Tretter also said that forcing unvaccinated players to wear wristbands opens them up to public shaming about their choice to remain unvaccinated. The Browns are one of the teams that's not going the wristband route, but apparently other teams are using the wristbands to identify whether you're vaccinated or not. So, obviously the NFLPA not happy about the way this is kind of going so far, and not sure this turns into some huge giant battle or anything like that, but it's very interesting to kind of see some of the responses and some of the anger that's starting to build up from certain players and certain people in management.
And look, as we've had some knockdown dragouts about vaccinations on this show, and look, I'm in the camp of I believe people should get vaccinated, but I also know that, look, if it's your personal choice not to, okay, but then it's also an institution's responsibility to protect the health of the other people and protect
Where
the
does
health
HIPAA come into play here? It doesn't.
HIPAA
doesn't.
This is.
Well, remember Dak tried to use HIPAA the other day, and he completely used it in the wrong way.
But to sit there and you have this scarlet letter on you.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. The Browns are right. They don't need to do that.
The NFL Players Association needs to fight this happening. They got to protect their players. Even I understand we can go back and forth politically about all this other crap.
No, but what I do think is look, if you're not going to get vaccinated, then you have to live under the COVID rules that were established last year. Of you're going to get tested a lot, you're going to have to wear a mask, you're going to have to limit your interactions. And
you have to paint your body purple.
You shouldn't have to do that last thing.
It's like going into a bar to make sure you're 21. You have to put that wristband on your. Remember that?
Yeah, and I disagree. I think the wristband is just excessive. But
that was the story, the wristband, not the other stuff.
Yeah. So, but that's the other stuff they have to do.
Yeah. So the NFLPA is not happy about it. We'll see what the next step is there. But there are various teams using colored wristbands and identifying players that way. So just a part of the deal of training camp that we knew was coming, and should have expected there would be a little bit of blowback on that. Former Baylor basketball player is on the move. Just saw this coming down. Taurean Prince is...
Again?
Yep. The Cleveland Cavaliers have acquired Timberwolves guard Ricky Rubio and a 2022 second-round pick and cash in exchange for former Baylor forward Taurean Prince. So Taurean Prince is heading to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay, Atlanta to Brooklyn to where?
To now Cleveland.
No, before.
Or Timberwolves.
Minnesota.
And now Cleveland.
Yeah. Yep. So Taurean Prince on the move.
And he hadn't played in a while because he's been injured.
Huh? He hadn't played in a while because he's been injured?
Yeah, I mean, he's two or three of these moves has happened while he hasn't been playing, right? I mean, obviously now it's the offseason. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so Taurean Prince is on the move there, and he's kind of bounced around a little bit. We'll see how Cleveland treats him. And also, just to wrap it up a little bit, try and use like a little pop culture stuff here and there in this segment. But as we mentioned, we've focused so much on college football that a lot of the major headlines have just been off the radar. But any interest in sports movies? I think we all like sports movies. What do you think about a story about Venus and Serena Williams and their father and the way they got to where they are today? Will Smith starring as Richard Williams in the movie King Richard, which will highlight the upbringing and the ascent of the Williams sisters under his tutelage, which I think has had some controversial moments, kind of like, you know, he was a hard father and obviously drove them very hard, but they just dropped the trailer yesterday. It's not coming out until this fall, but King Richard starring Will Smith as Richard Williams, and I'm not sure of who's playing Venus and Serena, but that'll be coming out here in a few months.
Well, if Will Smith's involved, you're the movie buff.
And he's dabbled in a lot of sports movies. You had Concussion, you had Legend of Bagger Vance, Ali.
Will Smith is really good, although I think he needs a hit. He's on a bit of a cold streak.
He is.
He needs a hit.
You think this would be one?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You never know. I mean, like sometimes
I've seen documentaries or something about Richard Williams and the impact and what he did to push his daughters, and of course both of them turned out to be incredible. But
one of the most funny interviews I've ever seen was Bryant Gumbel interviewing Venus or Serena about some of the things that their dad had said, and they're both like, I mean, we love our dad, but yeah, he's a little bit out there.
Yeah, certainly. So, that's going to be coming out this fall. And a correction, because Woj tweeted it out incorrectly. The Cavaliers are acquiring Ricky Rubio, 22 second-round pick, and cash for Taurean Prince. He had said something previously and then deleted it, turned it around. So Cavaliers acquiring Timberwolves guard Ricky Rubio, 2022 second-round pick, and cash. Taurean Prince, former Baylor Bears, heading to the Cavaliers. And those are a few stories that are off the radar.
All right. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate that. In the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to go back to Oxnard and hear from John Machota, covers the Cowboys for The Athletic. Also get to your calls, text, a lot of you. Thank you for watching, listening. We have an hour to go, and this is SicEm365 Radio.
If you are looking for a new home and